Welcome to Learn English with Alina. Today we are going to talk about something that controls more of your life than money itself. It controls your decisions, your relationships, your sleep, and even the way you see your own future. It is called the scarcity mindset. Look at your own life for a moment. Have you ever had enough food in the kitchen but still felt afraid you might run out? Have you ever had enough time in the day but still felt rushed, anxious, like something was about to slip away? Have you ever had people who loved you but still felt like you had to fight for love, protect it, hold on to it too tightly? If any of this feels familiar, you already know the voice we are talking about today. It is a quiet voice. It never shouts. It simply whispers one sentence again and again in the background of your mind. Not enough time, not enough money, not enough love, not enough chances, not enough of you. This voice is not just a feeling, it is not just personality, it is a mindset, a way of seeing the world, and it has a name. Psychologists call it the scarcity mindset. And here's the strange part. This mindset does not only appear in people who actually have very little, it appears in people who have plenty, but who learned somewhere along the way that plenty is never safe. It appears in people who grew up with very little and never unlearned the fear. It appears in successful people, wealthy people, busy people, tired people. Scarcity is not about how much you have. Scarcity is about how much you believe you are allowed to keep. In this video, you are not going to hear simple motivation. You are going to understand clearly and deeply why this mindset exists, how it silently shapes your decisions, and how you can slowly build a different relationship with money, time, love, and opportunity. And at the same time, this video will help you improve your English. Listen carefully. Notice useful words like scarcity, abundance, mindset, security, hoarding, and patience. Try to repeat the powerful sentences you hear. Learning a language works best when the ideas inside it matter to you, and this idea matters to almost everyone. So stay with me until the end, and if you want to keep learning English in a simple and powerful way, subscribe to the channel and continue this journey with me. Lesson 1. What is the scarcity mindset? Let's begin with a simple question. What does scarcity actually mean? Scarcity means not having enough. It is the opposite of abundance. Abundance means plenty, more than enough, a feeling of overflow. Scarcity means shortage, limitation, a feeling that something important might run out. Now here is where it becomes interesting. Scarcity can be real, or scarcity can be a mindset. Real scarcity means you truly do not have enough. A person without a home has real scarcity of shelter. A person without food has real scarcity of nutrition. This is not what we are talking about today. We are talking about something different, something that happens inside the mind, something that can exist even when the real shortage is gone. A scarcity mindset means your mind still behaves as if you are in danger of running out, even when you are not. Imagine someone who grew up poor. As a child, there was never quite enough. Meals were carefully divided. New clothes were rare. Every purchase was a decision between one need and another. That child learned something important, something the brain never forgets easily. The world is unstable. Resources disappear. You must protect what you have. Now imagine that same person 20 years later. They have a stable job. They have savings. They have enough food, enough clothes, enough space. But their mind still behaves like that frightened child. They still feel panic when spending money, even on things they can easily afford. They still hoard, save excessively, refuse to enjoy what they have earned, because somewhere inside, the old warning is still playing. Not enough, never enough. This is the scarcity mindset. It is not about your bank account. It is about an old alarm system that never learned the danger has passed. But scarcity is not only inherited from childhood, it can also come from adult experience. A sudden job loss, a financial crisis, a painful breakup, a betrayal by someone you trusted. These moments teach the mind the same lesson, quickly and painfully. Things you depend on can disappear, and once the mind learns this lesson, it becomes very difficult to unlearn. Understand this clearly. Scarcity is not weakness. It is not a character flaw. It is a survival strategy that your mind built to protect you. The problem is not that the strategy once made sense. The problem is that the strategy keeps running long after the danger is gone, and it starts controlling a life that no longer needs it. Lesson 2. The voice that says not enough. Every person with a scarcity mindset carries an inner voice. It does not always speak in words. Sometimes it speaks in feelings, in tightness in the chest, in a fast decision made from fear instead of thought. But if we translate this voice into language, it usually says one thing, in many different forms: not enough. Listen to how this voice speaks about money. I cannot spend this. What if I need it later? I should have saved more. I am behind everyone else. If I lose this income, everything will collapse. Money always disappears faster than it comes. Now listen to how the same voice speaks about time. I do not have enough hours in the day. I am always behind. If I rest, I am wasting time I cannot get back. Everyone else is moving faster than me. Now listen to how it speaks about love and relationships. If I do not hold on tightly, they will leave. I must prove my value constantly, or I will be replaced. There is not enough love in the world for someone like me. I cannot trust that this good thing will stay. Notice something important here. This voice is not describing reality. It is describing fear disguised as reality. A person can have a healthy income and still feel poor. A person can have supportive friends and still feel unloved. A person can have enough time for what truly matters and still feel like they are drowning. The scarcity mindset does not measure what is actually there. It measures what might be lost. This is why scarcity is so exhausting. It is not calm. It is not patient. It lives in a constant state of low-level alarm, scanning for danger, preparing for loss, protecting against a threat that is often not present at all. Imagine walking through your entire day with a smoke detector attached to your chest, one that goes off not only when there is fire, but whenever there is smoke from a candle, steam from a shower, or simply nothing at all. That exhausting, confusing alertness is what a scarcity mindset feels like from the inside. And when you live inside that alarm for years, you stop noticing it. It becomes normal. It becomes simply how you experience life. Lesson 3. Why your brain is wired for scarcity. Now let's go deeper, because understanding why this happens makes it much easier to change. The scarcity mindset is not random. It is not a personal failure. It is deeply connected to how the human brain evolved. For most of human history, real scarcity was common. Food was not guaranteed. Shelter was not guaranteed. Safety was not guaranteed. In that environment, a brain that constantly worried about running out of resources was not broken. It was smart. It kept early humans alive. A person who ate every meal without saving anything, who never prepared for winter, who never protected valuable resources, often did not survive long enough to pass on their thinking. So evolution favored brains that paid close attention to scarcity, that felt real fear at the thought of running out, that prioritized short-term survival over long-term comfort. This means something important. Your brain is not designed for a world of long-term planning and abundance. It is designed for a world of immediate survival. Even today, in a world where many people have stable food, stable shelter, and stable income, the ancient alarm system inside the brain still runs the same old programs. It still reacts to a drop in income the way it once reacted to a drop in food supply, with panic, with tunnel vision, with urgency. There is a psychological idea connected to this called cognitive bandwidth. Bandwidth means the mental capacity available for thinking, planning, and making decisions. When a person feels scarcity strongly, whether it is scarcity of money, time, or emotional safety, their mental bandwidth becomes consumed by that worry. This is sometimes called tunneling. Just like a tunnel narrows your view to only what is directly in front of you, scarcity narrows your thinking to only the urgent problem in front of you. This is why people under financial stress sometimes make decisions that seem irrational from the outside, decisions that make their situation worse, not better. It is not because they are careless. It is because their entire mental capacity is being used just to survive the immediate moment. There is very little bandwidth left for thinking about next month, next year, or the long-term picture. This is a powerful lesson. If you have ever judged yourself harshly for a decision made during a difficult, scarce period of your life, understand this. Your brain was doing exactly what it evolved to do. The problem is not that you are weak. The problem is that scarcity temporarily borrows your mental resources and spends them all on survival, leaving very little for wisdom. Lesson 4. The scarcity loop, how it quietly traps your decisions. Now that you understand why scarcity exists in the brain, let's understand how it operates in daily life. Because scarcity does not simply sit quietly in the background. It actively shapes decisions, and it does this through a repeating pattern, a loop. Here is how the loop usually works. First, a person feels a lack, real or imagined. Not enough money, not enough time, not enough certainty. Second, this feeling of lack creates urgency. The mind says, act now, protect yourself now, this cannot wait. Third, under this urgency, the person makes a short-term decision. One designed to relieve the immediate discomfort, not to build long-term stability. Fourth, this short-term decision often creates a new problem later, which creates a new feeling of lack, and the loop begins again. Let's see this loop with money. A person feels financial pressure. Under urgency, they take a high-interest loan to solve today's problem. This feels like relief in the moment, but next month that loan payment creates new pressure, often worse than before. The loop repeats, and each cycle makes long-term planning harder, not easier. This is why scarcity is often called a trap, not simply a feeling. It creates conditions that make the original problem worse over time, even while each individual decision feels reasonable in the moment. Now let's see this loop with time. A person feels they never have enough time. Under urgency, they try to do everything at once, multitasking constantly, sleeping less, skipping rest. This creates short-term relief, a feeling of progress, but it often leads to burnout, mistakes, and slower work later, which creates an even stronger feeling of not having enough time. The loop repeats. Now let's see this loop with relationships. A person fears they are not loved enough. Under urgency, they may become controlling, jealous, or emotionally demanding, trying to secure love quickly. But this behavior often pushes people away, which confirms the original fear, that love is scarce and cannot be trusted. The loop repeats, and it becomes a self-fulfilling pattern, a cycle where the fear creates the very outcome it was afraid of. This is one of the most important truths about scarcity. Scarcity does not only respond to lack. Scarcity often creates more lack. Fear-driven decisions rarely build long-term abundance. They usually protect against today's danger while quietly creating tomorrow's danger. Understanding this loop is powerful because once you can see the pattern clearly, you can begin to interrupt it instead of simply reacting to it. Lesson 5. Scarcity is not only about money. Many people believe scarcity is only a financial idea, something connected only to bank accounts and bills. But scarcity is a much bigger pattern of thinking, and it appears in almost every important area of human life. Think about scarcity of time. Some people live every day feeling rushed, feeling behind, feeling like time is a resource constantly slipping through their fingers. This creates constant low-level stress, a fear of wasting even small moments, and an inability to fully relax, because relaxing feels like losing precious time. Ironically, this constant urgency often makes people less productive, not more, because a rushed and anxious mind makes more mistakes and struggles to focus deeply. Think about scarcity of love and connection. Some people carry a deep belief that love is limited, that attention is limited, that they must compete for affection even within their closest relationships. This scarcity can create jealousy, possessiveness, or the opposite, emotional distance, protecting the heart by refusing to fully trust that love will stay. Both reactions come from the same root fear, the belief that love is scarce and could disappear at any moment. Think about scarcity of opportunity. Some people believe success is limited, that only a few people can win, that someone else's success automatically means less opportunity for themselves. This mindset can create unhealthy competition, jealousy toward other people's achievements, and difficulty celebrating others because their success feels like a threat rather than an inspiration. Think about scarcity of self-worth. This might be the deepest form of scarcity. Some people feel they are not enough, not smart enough, not talented enough, not lovable enough, not successful enough. This inner scarcity often drives every other type of scarcity. If you do not believe you deserve abundance, you will unconsciously create situations that confirm that belief, whether in money, time, or relationships. This is why the scarcity mindset is so powerful and so dangerous. It rarely stays in one area of life. A person who feels scarcity around money often feels scarcity around time and love as well, because the root cause is the same: a nervous system that has learned the world is unstable and resources cannot be trusted. Lesson 6. The real cost of a scarcity mindset. Let's talk honestly about what this mindset actually costs a person over a lifetime, because the price is much higher than most people realize. The first cost is decision quality. As we learned earlier, scarcity narrows thinking. It creates tunnel vision, focusing only on the immediate problem while ignoring long-term consequences. This means people operating from scarcity often make decisions that solve today's crisis while creating tomorrow's crisis. Over years, this pattern can prevent real financial growth, real career growth, and real emotional growth, even when the person is intelligent and capable. The second cost is joy. A person constantly protecting against loss struggles to fully enjoy what they already have. Imagine someone who finally achieves financial stability, but still cannot relax, still checks their bank account anxiously, still feels guilty spending money on anything beyond basic needs. Their external circumstances changed, but their internal experience did not. They technically have abundance, but they still live inside scarcity. This is one of the saddest effects of this mindset. It can rob a person of the ability to feel safe, even when they are, technically, safe. The third cost is relationships. Scarcity around love often creates behavior that damages the very connections a person is trying to protect. Excessive control, constant reassurance seeking, emotional withdrawal, difficulty trusting kindness, these patterns push people away, even loving, patient people. Over time, this can create painful proof for the scarcity mindset, more evidence that love cannot be trusted, when in reality, the mindset itself was pushing love away. The fourth cost is opportunity. A scarcity mindset often makes people risk-averse in unhealthy ways, afraid to invest in themselves, afraid to try new skills, afraid to leave situations that no longer serve them because change feels dangerous when you already feel like you have so little to lose. Ironically, this fear of risk often keeps people stuck in exactly the limited situations they are afraid of, because growth almost always requires some level of risk, some level of uncertainty. Take a moment and think honestly about your own life. Where does this voice appear for you? Is it money? Is it time? Is it love? Is it your own sense of worth? You do not need an answer right now. Simply noticing where scarcity lives inside you is the first, most important step toward change. Lesson 7. From scarcity to abundance, the mental shift. Now let's talk about change, because understanding a problem deeply is only useful if it leads somewhere. So how does a person move from a scarcity mindset toward an abundance mindset? First, understand that abundance does not mean unlimited resources. Abundance mindset does not mean pretending money is infinite, or ignoring real financial responsibility, or being careless with time and relationships. Abundance mindset means trusting that enough exists, that more can be created, that one loss does not mean permanent collapse. It is the difference between believing, if I lose this, I am finished, and believing, if I lose this, I can rebuild. Second, understand that the shift from scarcity to abundance is not one decision. It is not something you achieve once and complete forever. It is a practice, something you return to again and again, especially in moments when the old alarm system activates. Just like the scarcity mindset was built slowly, often over years, the abundance mindset must also be built slowly, through repeated experience, repeated evidence, repeated practice. One powerful shift is moving from a reaction of urgency to a habit of reflection. When the voice of scarcity says, "Act now, this cannot wait," a person practicing abundance learns to pause and ask, "Is this truly urgent, or does it only feel urgent because of old fear?" This single pause, just a few seconds of reflection before reaction, can completely change the quality of a decision. Another powerful shift is separating identity from circumstance. A person with a scarcity mindset often believes, I am someone who never has enough. A person building an abundance mindset learns to separate their identity from their current circumstance. They learn to say, I am currently experiencing limited resources. This is a situation, not a permanent identity. This small change in language changes the entire emotional experience of hardship. A situation can change. An identity feels fixed and hopeless. Another powerful shift is practicing generosity, even in small ways, especially during moments that feel scarce. This might sound strange at first. Why give when you feel you do not have enough? But generosity, even small generosity, sends a powerful signal to your own mind. It says, I have enough to share. I am not desperate. I trust that more will come. This does not mean giving away money you truly need for survival. It means small acts, sharing knowledge, offering time, giving encouragement that remind your nervous system that scarcity is not the only truth available to you. Lesson 8. Building a daily abundance practice. Understanding scarcity intellectually is important, but real change happens through daily practice, small, consistent actions that slowly retrain the mind. Let's talk about practical steps you can begin using immediately. Step 1. Notice the voice without obeying it immediately. When you feel the pull of urgency, the whisper of not enough, pause and simply notice it. You do not need to fight it or silence it completely. Just notice, this is my scarcity voice speaking, not necessarily reality. This awareness alone begins to weaken its automatic control over your decisions. Step 2. Practice gratitude specifically, not generally. Instead of vaguely thinking, I am grateful for my life, practice naming specific things. I have enough food today. I have people who care about me. I have skills I can use to earn more. Specific gratitude is more powerful than general gratitude because it directly counters the specific fears that scarcity creates. Step 3. Build small evidence of security. If financial scarcity is your struggle, even saving a very small amount regularly builds psychological evidence that stability is possible. If time scarcity is your struggle, protecting even 10 minutes daily for rest, without guilt, builds evidence that rest does not destroy your life. If scarcity of love is your struggle, allowing yourself to receive kindness without immediately feeling you must repay it builds evidence that love can be trusted. Small, repeated evidence slowly rewires deep, old beliefs, much more effectively than one dramatic decision ever could. Step 4. Separate long-term thinking from short-term panic. When facing a decision, ask yourself 2 questions. What does this decision solve today? What does this decision create for my future? A decision made purely from scarcity usually answers the first question well and ignores the second completely. Training yourself to consider both questions every time slowly builds the long-term thinking that scarcity naturally destroys. Step 5. Surround yourself with abundance-minded influences. Just as scarcity can be learned from environment, abundance can also be learned from environment. Notice how people around you speak about money, time, and opportunity. Do they speak from fear or from trust? You cannot always change your environment quickly, but you can be intentional about what content you consume, what conversations you engage in, and what beliefs you allow to become normal in your own mind. Remember, this is not about becoming careless or ignoring real difficulty or pretending problems do not exist. It is about no longer letting an old, exhausted alarm system control decisions that deserve calm, clear thinking. Scarcity kept early humans alive in a dangerous ancient world, but you are not living in that world anymore, and your mind deserves the chance to learn that, slowly, safely, one small decision at a time. If today's video helped you understand yourself a little more clearly, think about one small change you can make this week. Maybe it is pausing before a financial decision made from fear. Maybe it is allowing yourself 10 minutes of true rest without guilt. Maybe it is simply noticing the voice that says not enough and gently answering it with, maybe, actually, enough already exists. And remember, every time you listened carefully today, every time you repeated a sentence, every time you noticed a new word like scarcity, abundance, bandwidth, or urgency, you are also building something else, a stronger, more confident relationship with English. Growth in language and growth in mindset happen the same way, slowly, patiently, through consistent small practice, not through one dramatic moment. If this video helped you, like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel so we can continue this journey together, understanding not only the world, but ourselves, and building stronger English, one honest conversation at a time. See you in the next video.